How I made $23,000 sending emails. My name is Mark Vine. I bought my dream car at age 17, and I did this with a business model where I send emails. And so I'll show you real quick. This is on my email here, and I've saved this. This is from my first ever payout from my email here. In my first ever week, I made $5,000. That's my first ever week doing this, okay? And it was actually 6,000 and a half, right? But I'm going to show you exactly how I've done this here if you just stick around to the end of the video. So quick summary before we go into full depth. I get people's emails and I collect people's emails from my Instagram page. So on my Instagram page here, I basically tell people, hey, if you want a free guide, then click the link in my bio or click the link or comment this word, and then I DM them the guide. And so I give them a free guide, and in exchange I get their emails. And so once I get their emails, I can print some insane money just by having their emails, by sending them emails and selling digital products to them, right? So I then email them and sell them digital products. So like I said, I first give them something for free, and then this red arrow is basically the emails. I email them because I get their email list in exchange for them, and then I can email them to sell them either a $30 product or a $14 product. I'm going to show you the exact process that I've set up to just automatically make sales for me like this. So what it is it's done with something called an automated email sequence. So every time someone signs up to my email list, or I get their email, or I put them into the list, they basically automatically get sent this sequence of emails, which you only set up once and you never have to do again, really, right? You just set it up once and it just works on autopilot. And so in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can set up that automated email sequence, right? So people will come, first of all, to your email list where they'll sign up for free here. They'll enter their email, they click subscribe, and you'll actually even make money when they sign up for free, because they can sign up to paid recommendations of other newsletters. When they sign up to those, you get paid anywhere from like $1 to $5. So you first can make some money like that. And then once you've collected their emails, you're building up an email list, which you can sell digital products to. And I'll show you here. This is an example of either a digital product I've made myself or I've helped with someone else to set up. And you sell these over emails, right? So most accounts do it completely wrong. They sell people directly to the product. Instead, what you want to do is give people a little bit of a free guide from your Instagram, and then nurture them with emails, right? So give them like a little free lead magnet is what you call it. Kind of like, for example, if you go to the store, Costco, they give you a free sample and then they tell you, hey, you want the full thing? That's kind of what you're doing here. You're giving people a free thing to build their trust, give them, kind of let them dip their toes in the water, get to know you a little bit better, right? And then you're going to tell them, click the link in bio. So you're not going to tell them that, because people don't know you, they don't trust you. It's going to be impossible to make sales like that. And so this is how I got 10% conversion. I did it with what's called an automated email sequence. And in this video, I'm going to go into full absolute details showing you exactly how I set this up. So here it is. Here's the breakdown. Now, before I get into this, I want to say this is going to be a very detailed video. It's not going to be hyper flashy edits for your little dopamine, right? So if you're not serious about watching this video, just click off now and go watch some Iman Godshi 10-minute video of the 7 principles that changed my life, right? But if you want actual practical steps that you can take, that you can set up, showing exactly how to do it, that's what this video is going to show you how to do. And if you ever have any questions throughout this, because I'm going to get into a lot of detail here, then always just drop a comment below. I reply to every single comment, so you'll get your question answered, right? So here's the email flow, right? Here's the list of emails which I have. Let me not do that. And then here's where I've set them up, right? So I'm going to show you kind of the overview and the outline of how I've set up these emails to work. And then also I'm going to show you actually practically what I've written in each of these emails, so you can see it as an example, right? And so the first email that you're going to send is you're just going to have a plain pitch to them, right? So people sign up, they get your little free thing, right? They sign up to your email list, or you give them the free thing. For example, I do it a little bit differently, where I just give them the free thing and then I've set it up so they automatically get added into my email list. But the simplest way to do it, which is what most people do that I've helped them with, is they just make them sign up to the list and then they send them the free thing. But either way, right? Once you've given them the free thing, you wait like a day and you want to just make a plain pitch, right? So just straight up, tell them what you have for sale, tell them the problem it solves, and tell them here's how you can buy it, right? Now, the reason you want to do this, a lot of people, and this is kind of contradictory, like, right, to like what I said, like, oh, but I thought they have to build trust with you, right? They have to get to know you. Well, first of all, you are building a little bit of trust with that first email that you're sending out. And then second of all, people, like I said, they're scared, like, oh, but a bunch of people are going to unsubscribe from my email list, right? Well, look, you could have, would I rather have 100,000 people on my email list who have no interest in buying from me, or 1,000 people who are super ready to buy from me? I'd rather have the 1,000 people who are super ready to buy from me. So if they're unsubscribing from your email list on the first one, chances are they're probably not going to buy anyways. So it doesn't matter too much whether you have them there. Second of all, if you've just given them that free guide, what you can do is in that free guide or that little lead magnet which you're giving to them, you tell them, hey, this was a lead magnet here. If you want some more stuff, then make sure to open my next email. And so you'll realize that that second email you send out after like a day or so, or that first email, whichever one it is, this one will always have a very, very high open rate. And so you just want to make sure that at least everyone is aware of what you're selling, right? Because if you send it by like the 15th or the 20th email, a lot of people might not be reading your emails as much anymore. They might end up in the spam folder sometimes. So I just always like putting it out there. And with this one, do like a soft pitch. Don't be like, you have to join today if you want to transform your life, blah, 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 etc. Right? Just be like, hey, look, I have this. I hope you enjoyed my free guide from yesterday. I have this. If you're interested, great. If not, then no worries, right? So I'll show you the example email which I wrote here, right? So first I gave them the free guide, and then this is the email I was just talking about, right? So I say, you won't want to miss out on this. And it's just a very soft pitch, nothing much. And so I say, so I hope you found the free guides from last night, from the last email useful. If you're serious about starting this business model and transforming your life, then I have something for you. I put together a private community where I'll personally teach you. Inside this community, you'll get full courses, direct access to me. And if you join from this email, you get a free call. If you want to, then just click here now and join. And then that's where I sell them the product, right? So just the first email, right? And then after that, we want to wait some time before we try to sell them again. But that's the first email, right? The second email, what you're going to do is you're going to do kind of like a story. And this is the way I set it up. It's kind of like a story. Now, the way in which you sequence and set up these emails is very important. And I've spent like tons of time, like literally months, kind of constructing this, learning from other people, testing out things myself. So this sequence converts very well, right? And the second email which you want to send out is like the story, right? And so in the story, you want to kind of cover a little bit of your personal experience, or if you don't have the personal experience of whatever you're teaching, which you probably should, then you could cover somebody else's personal experience. And in that email, what you really want to highlight is, who is this for? Right. And so you want to highlight who is this for, because you want to make that person who's reading your email say, this really applies to me. Right. This really applies to me. Now, a lot of people are always worried about being too specific in their marketing in general. They're like, oh, but, if I specifically market to these people, then all these other people are, how am I going to be able to get sales from them? Right. And the analogy I kind of use for this maybe not the best analogy, but it's kind of like, for example, if you're trying to poke a hole through a table, what would be more effective, using a hammer and a thick piece of wood, or a hammer and a sharp nail, right? The hammer and the thick piece of wood is like you're trying to market to everyone. If you market to everyone, you're not going to market to anybody specifically, and you're not going to get any sales, right? It's kind of like someone, for example, if you try to become the best in the world at every single sport, basketball, soccer, and volleyball, you're not going to become the best at any of them, right? And you're going to be mediocre at all three of them. Whereas if you just focused on one, that's where you're going to see the most success, right? So I always say this: be specific with who you're reaching out to, with your, I guess you could say, ideal client, because when they read it, they'll be like, oh, wow, this is for me. This must really apply to me. This must be able to really help me. So, for example, if you're selling like a weight loss package, instead of just saying, hey, here's how you can lose weight, say like, this is the weight loss package for retired moms over the age of 40 who are looking to get back to their high school weight, right? It's very specific. And so that mom who is sitting in her room and she's a little bit overweight and, she wants to get back to her high school weight, she's going to read that and she's going to be like, oh, wow, this is something which I could really do, right? This is something which really applies specifically to me. That this was made for me. And so they're going to really want to buy it. So in this second email, you're kind of appealing to them and showing them, okay, this is specifically for you. And so what I do is I say, hey, it's Mark. Until now, I haven't really opened up about this, but I like to show you how my journey as a creator began. And so I just show two pictures. This first picture was actually a random picture, which I got online of just a desk, because this is my desk here and it doesn't look the best. But that was the point of the picture anyways. But and then the second one is just a picture of my car, just to show them kind of some proof, like, okay, this stuff actually made me some money. It's a Jaguar F-Type R, if anyone's wondering, because I always get comments about that. So I just tell them, hey, look, I started with $0 in my bank account with an old phone, no experience in social media, and then something incredible happened, right? All my efforts started paying off. And so here what I'm doing is I'm relating to them, right? I'm showing them, okay, I was in the same position as you, and I did this one thing, which is true. I did do this one business model, and it took me from where you are to where I am today. And so when I say, okay, this is where I was, and I detail that, okay, I had $0 in my bank account, I had an old phone, right? or I just had a phone and I had no experience in social media, I'm specifically calling out to that person and my ideal customer from this specific email list, the person who doesn't have any money, the person who maybe just has a phone and wants to make money with it, and the person who doesn't actually have any experience in social media yet, right? And then something incredible happened, right? All my efforts started paying off, et cetera, right? But let me tell you a secret: you don't get experience until you get started. This business model here, you see, I'm specifically calling out them, right? This business model is for complete beginners who are looking to make money with just an extra 30 minutes to 1 hour of work per day. If you have a phone and an internet connection, this is what you need, right? So I'm specifically calling out my avatar, my ideal customer of people who, which is most of the people on my email list who are coming from the Instagram, people who haven't made money online. They just have a phone, don't really have much to work with there, right? So so that's the second email, right? And then I just tell them, if you found this valuable, stay tuned for more emails. You always want to put that at the end of your emails, like, hey, make sure to read my next email, or stay tuned for my next email, because you're just going to increase your open rates like that, right? The percentage of people on your list who actually open and read your emails, right? So that's the second email right there, right? Is the story. Who is this for? It's for someone who hasn't made money online yet. Then, right? Let me close my thing here. Then you'll see here, the third email is you're going to overview the biggest problems that that person has had. And so for me, this is people who haven't found a business model which doesn't require capital, money to start up with, and people who are just watching YouTube videos without actually taking action, right? That's kind of their problem. They're hopping around from business model to business model, and they're not making any progress. So what do I do in that email? Well, I say, let me zoom in for you so you can see it. I say, okay, you probably watched countless videos from Iman Gadzhi, Andrew Tate, or other influencers online. By the way, if anyone who's watching this right now watches Iman Gadzhi, click on this video, unsubscribe. No, I'm joking. But I bought Iman Gadzhi's course for like $1,200, complete scammer. And yeah, he lied about his agency. He said it made him millions of dollars. It only made him 70,000. He got exposed because the tax documents are public. But yeah, if you're watching Iman Gadzhi, highly recommend you don't watch him. But because an agency is a horrible business model to get into. But I tell them, okay, you probably watch countless videos from Iman Gadzhi, Andrew Tate, and I'm kind of appealing because a lot of us, and you probably relate to this, right? If you're an online business, you probably watch like a bunch of videos. I know I was when I was starting out, a bunch of videos of like, the top 10 ways to transform your life in 2023, or like these 3 lessons made me a millionaire at age 22, or like, the best side hustle in 2024. These kind of videos are just general, broad videos. They're like 10 minutes. They have, like super fast hyper editing to them and stuff. They don't actually help you get anywhere, right? And so I know that I related to that. You probably watching this actually related it too. This is why I'm trying to make my content more educational. So if you like this kind of content, I'd appreciate if you drop a like on it, because I put a lot of effort into this. But I'm relating to that because I know that a lot of people have gone through that. So I'm saying, okay, you probably watch countless videos from Iman Gadzhi, Tate, all these influencers online, and you haven't actually made progress yet. You're watching all these videos, you're thinking about all these ideas, but you haven't actually taken action or made any money yet, right? And so I tell them, once again, I was in the exact same position as you, not getting anywhere until I realized I wasn't seeing success because I was simply doing the wrong business model, right? Which is very true, by the way. A lot of people don't get anywhere because they do the wrong business model. Any business model can make you money, just some will take a lot longer, some will make you a lot more, some will make you a lot less. But anyways, I tell them, for example, I tried this business model, and the other key problem I'm pointing out to them is that all these other business models require you to have a ton of money to start. So for example, I use the example of drop shipping. If you want to start with drop shipping, you need to have at least bare minimum, at least $200 for ads. Way more than that, honestly. I would say you actually need like at least 1,000. But if you want to really, really stretch it, you could maybe start with just 200 for ads, right? But I tell them that, and I'm like, it also requires you to set up all these complicated things. It's a very, very advanced business model. And so I tell them, look, for a complete beginner, that's probably not the best road for you. And so I'm putting out their problems. And then at the end, I'm not fully going into detail about like the solution, right? But I'm just telling them, look, this is why you need Instagram automation. It made me 5K in my first week, which was this email, which I showed you down here, right? This was my first ever week doing this, which is what I'm showing you right now. It made me 5K in my first week as a complete beginner. And then I tell them, read my future emails as I'll explain more of this business model. See you in the next email, Mark. And then, so they read my next one. So that's the third email, right? I lay out that, I lay out the problem, right? Lay out the biggest problem, show them that I've kind of related it to in the past. And then after that, you want to show them social proof, right? Because by now you've already given them the free guide, so they kind of have a general understanding of what's going on. You've emailed them a few emails about like, this is what you need to do, this is how it's going to help you, and then now what you want to hit them with is just show social proof, right? You want to show them that, okay, this business model really, really does work, right? This business model genuinely does work. And so what I do is I show them, okay, you see here, complete beginners are making $456 with this, right? And so what I do is I just show them proof, right? Proof of people who I've helped. And by the way, if you're wondering, these people here who are making money, these are people who I've personally helped or and personally mentored to help them make money with their Instagram pages. So what I say is I say, what you're looking at are some results of just a few people that I've personally mentored. And then I just show them a bunch of these results, right? So Braxton made $450 in his first week. Finis made $300 in his first day. Right now, at the time of recording this, he's at like 600 or 700. Nathan made money within just his first couple of days. And then I say, and these are just a few of the countless results of complete beginners achieving their financial goals inside of the community. See you in the next email. Not trying to sell them here, just building a relationship with them, right? Showing them, okay, this stuff actually works. You're building their trust, building their belief that, okay, this could work for me as well. And by the way, those screenshots are genuine people who I personally mentored with my to help them grow their Instagram pages and monetize them, right? So, and they do it with this system, which I'm currently showing you. And then after that, the next email I send is just, I guess you could say, a little bit more proof / personal experience, right? So with this one, I share a little bit more of my personal experience and kind of like proof, like, okay, I actually did this myself. So I just show them, okay, I was where you are right now. I tried those things and I show them, okay, here's what changed, right? So here's the email. I say, okay, just age 17, I've made $1.5 thousand in a single day and achieved my financial goals. I made a lot more than that, but this was from this specific business model. But it wasn't always like this for me, right? As a beginner, I was constantly trying new business models and getting nowhere. However, that all changed when I started Instagram automation and made 5K in my first week. This is because for Instagram automation, you don't need money to start. All you need is your phone and Instagram, and it's extremely simple and beginner friendly. If you're a beginner still trying to make money online but haven't, I was in the exact same situation as you. Start IG automation today. See you in the next email. So, what is the point of this email? Now, this is a big mistake which a lot of people make just when it comes to this kind of stuff online, is when they're trying to sell people something, a digital product, even a physical product, right? It's like, for example, you'll see a lot of guys who, they'll have like a product. Let's say their product is teaching people how to run Facebook ads for your business, right? That's what their digital product is, right? And so they'll turn on the camera, they'll start their video, right? They'll turn on this beautiful camera over here, right? Put up the camera. They'll get like, the most professional settings and the most professional lighting, as you can tell in my beautiful setup in my parents' basement, because I'm still 17 years old. They'll get everything perfect. They'll get everything super well edited, and in their video, they'll start talking about like the features, right? So they're like, hey, if you work with us, or hey, if you buy my digital product, in the digital product, you'll find this full course. You'll find this. You'll find this. You'll find that. And the whole time they're selling themselves, right? So they're selling like, here's why you need to get my digital product. But what they neglect to do is they neglect to sell people first on the idea, right? So if a random person comes onto the street, let's say it's like a super smart business guy, right? He's the best at sales, the best in the entire world at sales. And he comes up to you and he's like, hey, you should buy this course to teach you how to do Facebook ads. And you should buy it because in here, you'll get my full course, you'll get my personal help, you get this, that. He's trying to sell you on the product, but he never sold you on the idea. So in your mind, you're going to be like, dude, I'm just a 15-year-old kid. Why do I need to do Facebook ads? Right? He hasn't actually sold you on like, wow, I really want to do Facebook ads. So in these emails, I'm first selling them like, wow, Instagram automation seems like a really good business. Or, wow, this diet, if you're selling people like a weight loss thing, the keto diet is a really good diet. And then later down the road, you sell them, hey, I'm actually the perfect person to help you out with that keto diet. But first you have to convince them that the keto diet, or first you have to convince them that they need to do Facebook ads, right? So I hope that makes sense, that you need to first convince them on the idea before you convince them on yourself, right? And so in that email, you can see I'm convincing them more on the idea of like, okay, this is why this is such a good idea for you to do. This is why this is such a good business model, et cetera, for you to do. Then what I do is in the next email, so we just did personal experience, I take down some faulty beliefs. So I explain away their myths. And a lot of people, they'll have these objections for when you try to sell them. They'll be like, oh, but, for example, if you're selling a weight loss one, these are always really good examples. When you actually try to sell them, they'll be like, oh, but for me to lose weight, I need to be on this specific diet. Or like, oh, for me to lose weight, then I have to do, I have to walk on the treadmill for an hour every day. And so what you want to do is before you actually sell them, you want to just ease them into the sale by explaining away their objections. So when it is time to sell them, you can sell them just like that, right? Especially over emails. Because if you're doing it over, for example, a sales call, then you can actually talk to them live one-on-one and explain away their objections. But if you're doing it on emails, you can't like respond back and forth to them. So you have to explain away their objections before you ask for the sale, right? Not after the sale. You have to explain it before. And so this is what I'm doing here. I'm explaining away their objections, which I know they're going to have when I eventually present to them my digital product for them to buy. So let's take a look at it here. The biggest, so here you say, right? I'll read out the email here. So like I said, a lot of people who start Instagram automation have been told that you need a lot of followers to make any money. But I'm here to show you that this couldn't be further from the truth. Yes, having a big account will allow you to make more money, but if you just want to get started, it's not necessary. For example, one of my guys in my community joined. He only had 370 followers and made $700 in his first week. This is because my system of monetizing is so effective. I made a full video explaining the monetization system, so click here to watch. You don't really have to put that video there, but the point is, I know that one of their biggest objections they're going to have is, oh, but I need a ton of followers to make money with this, right? And so I go in right into it. Bam, I knock out that objection out the window, right? So when it comes for the sale, they're going to be like, oh yeah, but I don't even need followers for this. They're going to be ready to buy, right? After that, the next email I send out is, you'll see here, the next email, I just send out general education. And like I said, this is just informing people a little bit more in terms of, oh no, sorry, we're not on that. Yeah, education. This is just informing people a little bit more on just what's going on, giving them a general idea of it, building a little bit of trust with them. There's not too much thought behind this email. So for this one though, you just want to make it very, very short, quick, and consumable. So for example, just give them like some quick tips, right? So just gonna be quick, tips that they can just implement instantly. They can read it in less than a minute. You don't want this email to be too complicated or too detailed or anything like that, right? So for this one, I just say 7 algorithm secrets, right? And I just say, okay, it should actually say 3 algorithm secrets. I don't know why it says 7, so I'll actually make that change right now. But 3 algorithmic secrets. And so it's just, hey, Mark, it's Mark here. Today I'll reveal 3 Instagram algorithm secrets that people don't want you to know, et cetera, et cetera. And then here you can say, okay, here's tip number 1, content looping. Here's tip number 2, do this. Here's why, just a brief explanation. And then here's the 3rd tip. And I'd say I could actually even make this one shorter. I think this might be even a little bit too long. So I might even go back and change that later to make it a little bit shorter, but we'll see, right? So with this one, like I said, it's just quick tips, just building some trust, building your authority. So they're like, okay, wow, this guy knows what he's talking about, even if it's subconsciously, even if you're actually demonstrating that to them live. But that's really all you're going to do with this email. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't make this one too complicated. Just something very simple like that. 5 quickest ways to lose fat, right? The number 1 tip to make your cardio feel easier, right? Whatever it is, don't overcomplicate this one too much. After these educational quick tips, you want to give them some mistakes that most people make. Now, this one is because a lot of people, when they're selling, they sell almost too good to be true, right? And so, for example, you've probably seen it, right? Like Iman Gotchi in his videos will say like, hey, if you buy my course for $1,000, $1,500, you'll make $10,000 in your first 30 days. And it's like, dude, who actually believes that, right? I don't even believe it myself, right? If I was a complete beginner, at least, right? And you sitting there when you're watching Iman Gotchi videos and he's telling you like, you'll be able to make 10K in your first 30 days. Or, you see videos when you're scrolling on Instagram, like make $50,000 in your first 10 days. It's like, you don't even believe that. Like, let's just be honest. If I was a complete beginner, I wouldn't even like feel that it's possible to even make $50,000 in a month, right? Or even to make 10,000. So people don't even believe that much of the time, because a lot of the time when people are selling, they overpromise, they make ridiculous claims, they just make it feel, I guess you could say, way too good to be true. So you do want to have kind of this honesty sense. Well, I mean, you always should be honest, but if you get the point, right? Let's say, for example, that if I said to you, I'm the best basketball player in the world, I'm the best volleyball player in the world, and I'm the best soccer player in the world, you're going to be like, yeah, I probably don't believe you in that, right? But if I say, hey, look, I'm not very good at basketball, I'm not very good at volleyball, but I'm really good at soccer, right? When you self admit these other mistakes or places where you aren't so good or expertise, it just makes that third one feel so much more believable, right? So, look, I'm not good at this, I'm not good at that. But if there's one thing I'm good at, it's this, right? And so it's the same thing. Like, what sounds more believable, right? I'm not very good at this. Look, I'm not an expert on this. I'm not claiming to be an expert on that. But when it comes to this one thing here, I can do a good job for you in that. Or if I tell you, hey, look, I'm the best in the world at this, the best in the world at that, the best in the world at everything, right? So here, what I'm saying is, I'm pointing out some mistakes which people make, and it just makes it seem more believable to them because they're going to be like, oh, yeah, people make mistakes with this. This is like a regular business model. This could actually be me, right? People are making mistakes. I'm going to make mistakes. It just builds more trust, not even necessarily with me, but trust between them and them doing the idea which I'm trying to sell to them. So I just say a lot of people do a good job posting, but they make the mistake because they can't monetize their page. They make this one lethal mistake. The mistake is they try selling digital products. Now they do work well, but people do them completely wrong. This doesn't work because you haven't built blah blah blah. Right? I'm pointing out just a short mistake which a lot of people have made here. Right? And so, like I said, makes it seem a lot more believable for them. Now, after this, what I do is I give them a template, right? And so this is what I would do if I were you. Give them a template. Now, a template is going to really, really build a lot of trust with people. And I like templates. I got this idea from another guy. I forgot his name, but if I remember, I'll give you his name at the end of the thing, right? But he inspired a lot of how I've set up my email campaigns. So with templates, you want something tangible that people can have to avoid making mistakes, right? So the template, though, the most important thing about the template is it's something tangible, right? It's kind of like, for example, if I give you something and that something I give you is an idea, right? So you're watching a video of an idea from me. It's like, okay, you watch the video, cool. You stop watching the video. A template is more like I'm actually giving you something, right? Obviously it's digital, but it has that kind of aspect where it's like, okay, I'm gonna download this and I'm gonna, like, for example, if I give you a wallpaper, right? That's actual, like, it's not a physical thing, obviously, but it's like a physical, it's a thing which you have, right? Compared to just watching a video where you're just kind of learning information or stuff like that, which is great. Those are good and those have their place. But a template is good because it builds a ton of trust, because what you're giving people is it's something physical. They, interacting with you more is just a touch point. And so with this one, very, very short email. I think this is actually the shortest one in the list. But all I do is I say, I'm always getting asked by people, Mark, what time should I post my videos? So I put together a list of the best times for you to post your videos if you're just starting out. Click here for it. And then all I have is just, I just put together like a little graph on Google Sheets, and I took an image from Google, and then I just put together like a list of the best times for them, right? Don't overcomplicate that. Don't overcomplicate the template. It's, you can do a template, how to come up with video ideas, a template, for example, if you're doing a weight loss one, a really good one, like a weight loss digital product, because there's actually, there's an Instagram page, who I'm working with, and his entire thing on it's like a gym page in the gym niche. And so we're actually creating a lot of templates like this. Like one of the ones we're doing is what's called a calorie calculator. So people they can calculate how many calories they need to eat throughout the day. And so it's something where, they plug in their weight, they plug in their height. And so it's like something tangible which they can get, right? They can plug in something, get an outcome just like that, right? So templates work very well, builds a lot of trust with people. Then you want to just hammer them with more testimonials. And if there's one thing you could take away from this, the most important thing is you just want to hammer people with proof, testimonials, nonstop, right? So testimonials, you want to show proof of people who have, bought before your digital product, whatever it is. Now, this is a big thing where people are always like, oh, but, Mark, how am I going to have that proof when what am I going to send if I don't have any proof for my digital product? Well, first of all, if you don't have any proof for your digital product, you shouldn't be necessarily selling digital product yet. You should first be giving it away for free, getting those results, and then making the sales. First of all, because I guess you could say it's the ethical thing to do, because you don't want to sell people something which you don't fully know yet works. But then also, once you get those testimonials from the people who do it for free, it'll make your life so much easier for sales, right? When you have testimonials and results you can show people, your sales skyrocket through the roof. Now, if you're like a complete beginner and you're like, oh, but I don't know how to create a digital product, I don't know how to write an email list, et cetera, et cetera. Well, then what you can do is you can affiliate somebody else's product. So I let people affiliate my product and they get like 70 to 90% commission. 90% commission, you're pretty much just keeping all the money. I just keep some money for fees and stuff like that, and pay some people like my setters and stuff like that. But so that's the first thing, is you can affiliate somebody else's product, or you can get someone to build one and create one for you. So what I do is, with Instagram pages who are my personal mentorship, I help them grow the page and everything, obviously. And then the main thing I do is I create their entire digital product for them, right? So there's a guy recently who I've been helping. I'll show you him at the end of this video. We recently just started. Like I've been kind of helping him for about 2.5 to 3 weeks ish now. He recently just joined my personal mentorship, like just a couple days ago, and he's already made about $500 to $600 already, right? Because I created the entire product for him. I'm currently writing all his emails here for him as well, so he doesn't even have to do anything. So if you have an Instagram page which is already big, then I'll literally just create everything for you, or if you want to get started too. But here you're just going to give them more testimonials, right? So this is the next email you're going to send. And so again, very similar title to the one I showed you earlier. I say complete beginners are making money with this business model. And then boom, I say, like I've said so many times, IG automation is one of the best business models for beginners. And then I just show them more results, right? This guy made this money. This guy made this money. This guy made this money. And then I just tell them there's countless other beginners getting results like this. See you in the next email. Not trying to sell them anything, but I'm just giving them the testimonial. And this really surprises them as well, because a lot of people, whenever they're being shown proof or testimonials, are like, oh, this guy's trying to sell me something. When you don't try to sell them something at the end, they're like, wow, this guy's just out here to help me, right? You build a ton of trust with people like that. After these testimonials, you want to show everything that's included. So this is where you start to, it's been 11 emails, so it's about 11 days. You haven't really sold before, except for the first email that you sent. Here's where you kind of start to sell a little bit more to them, right? And so here's where you're going to show them kind of everything that's included inside of whatever your digital product is. And you're going to give them kind of like a soft pitch, right? So don't try to sell them too hard, but this is just giving them more information awareness of what's going on, right? Now, the number one reason which, in my opinion, why most people don't buy when you're doing the sales is, most of the time, it's because just a lack of information, right? They don't have enough information and a lack of belief, right? So I mean, just think about it like this: if you, for example, are selling a product which helps people lose weight and get a six-pack in 30 days, a six-pack in 30 days, what's stopping people from getting that? Because everyone wants that, right? The only thing stopping people from actually buying your product for that is that they don't actually believe they'll get it. Because, for example, it's a no-brainer offer, right? If you were offering that for $50, who's not going to pay $50 to have a six-pack in 30 days? A more practical one like this is, for example, if you have a digital product teaching people how to 10x their money with Facebook ads, get a 10 times return on ad ROI on your ads, and it was $50, who wouldn't take that? Because it's $50 that they pay, and then they make 500 back. That's like the promise you're giving them, right? The only reason they wouldn't do that is because they don't fully believe it, right? Because who wouldn't put in $50 and get 500 back, right? Obviously, anyone would take that. It's just they don't fully believe you. So here, you're just giving them some more information, just a little bit more belief of what's actually in your product. So the way I like to do it is I like to list it out in what's called a value stack. So I say, I've been showing you a ton of results, which people have been getting from my private community, because I've already built up some of those testimonials and results. And a ton of you have been asking how you can join. And so here, I'm going to show you this email, how you can join. First, let me show you what you get. And so I just tell them, okay, here's what you get when you join. You get a call, you get 3 full courses, you get 2 weekly calls, you get this, etc. And I tell them the total value is this much. I'm price anchoring them. So they're like, the total value is $2,376. Dude, this is probably going to be like an Iman Gotchi course for $2,000, a really expensive one, right? And then when they click the join button, they find out it's nowhere near that much of what I'm selling to them, right? So that's kind of how I have that process there. Set up with, just a value stack, and then it price anchors them to, in their mind, you want them to think, wow, this is probably going to be really expensive. So when they see it and it's not actually that expensive, they're like, oh, wow, that's a really good deal. Let me go and get that, right? So that's 10 days after, right? Now, the next one you're going to send out, we just sent out everything that's included. The next one we're going to send is bonuses. And in these bonuses, you want to kind of think of one of those objections and turn that into a bonus idea, right? So one of these objections, one of the biggest objections, for example, when it comes to just buying courses in general, for example, is that people are like, oh, but if I buy a course, I'm just going to be thrown into the community, and then I'm just going to be thrown into the community or thrown into the course. I'm going to have to figure it out myself. He's not going to be there to help me, et cetera, right? And so with these bonuses, you want to take that bonus, you want to actually flip it. This is the bonus that I chose, right? People are like, oh, but I'm just going to have to figure it out myself, etc. I don't want to do all that work. I take that bonus, I flip it, and I flip that bonus around to actually make it the big selling point of why whatever I'm selling to them is so great, right? So, for example, like if you're selling a weight loss thing, and I use weight loss a lot because it's a very simple concept to understand. If you're selling a weight loss one of the key, I guess you could say, objections which people will have will be like, oh, but then I'll have to get on this super strict diet. And so what you can do is you can flip that and you can say, hey, or they'll be like, hey, I have to worry about what I'm eating, worry about, cooking the right foods and stuff like that. You can turn that objection around and basically turn it around to the point where now the biggest selling point of this, of whatever you're selling here to these people is, okay, inside, if you decide to get our weight loss package, what I'll do is I'll make an entire custom meal plan for you, and I'll also make an entire grocery list for you, and I'll make the entire ingredients list, how to cook it, and everything. So their biggest objection for your weight loss package was, oh, but if I get your weight loss package, then I'm gonna have to worry about what I'm eating, and I'm gonna have to spend all this time cooking this special food, and et cetera, et cetera. What you can do is you just flip that around, and instead, when you flip it around, to, okay, I'll literally do all of that for you. Now they're like, wow, this is really good, right? Because you're taking their objection, and it's kind of like the extremes, right? Their objection, if you can show them that you'll completely handle their objection is the thing which is most stopping them from buying. If you can show them that you'll completely handle their objection, then that objection will then turn into the number one thing which is really going to make them want to buy, right? So here what I do is I know that their main objection, people's main objection in general to courses is, okay, but if I get this guy's course or community or whatever, I'm just gonna have to figure it out for myself. I'm not gonna have anyone to help me. And so what I say is, okay, I bought a tons of courses in the past, which I have, right? I'm literally, if you're watching this, I bought like 40 to 50 maybe courses. I spend like maybe $1,500 to $2,000 a month just on courses, right? I probably should hold back a little bit, right? But I bought a ton of courses, and so I know what people's experiences with this. So I say I bought a ton of courses in the past, and I've had bad experiences with most of them because I got in the course and I just had to figure it out myself with nobody to help. So I promised myself that when I made my own course, I would do it differently, which I did, by the way, because I'm tired of all these, Iman Gachis. I mean, if you should go and watch the video after this one, Iman Gachi exposed for his NFT collection, where he basically sold people in a $6,000 project community thing, and then he said, "Oh yeah, inside of the Discord, you'll get one-on-one direct DM access to me." He literally, in the entire 6 months that it was around, he sent 3 messages in the Discord, and he promised direct DM access to me. Like, he's a complete fraud, right? So thankfully I didn't buy his $6,000 one. Now if you're selling like a $15 product, it's a little bit different. Like, I don't have a problem necessarily with people. Well, it's still a problem, but as much of a big problem with people who are like, buy my $15 product, it'll help you do this and this and that. Okay, if you don't deliver on that fully, not the hugest deal. It's still wrong, but at least people just spent $15. Okay, they can move on from the $50. You still shouldn't do it. But if you're selling products which are like $500 or $1,000, or like Imangachi $6,000, that's like someone's monthly income for most people, even more than that. So if you're selling products which are really expensive like that, it's so important that, like, I try my best, like, because I think about it, like, people are trusting me with their money. I got to make sure that I'm fulfilling that trust, fulfilling the promises as best as I can, right? So yeah, a little bit side tangent there. Screw you, Mangachi. If you watch my channel, you know I'm not a big fan of him. So I promised myself that when I made my own course, I would do it differently. This is why people who join my community get such great results, because, and then like I said, their objection is, oh, but I'm just going to figure it out for myself. My selling point now is, oh, you're not going to, because you get a one-on-one call, you get 24/7 access to my DMs, which they genuinely do, by the way. They get a community of like-minded people to help them, 2 Q&A calls, et cetera, right? So when you join, you're not just going to be left with the course to figure it out for yourself. Join here if you haven't yet, right? And so that's the selling point right there, right? I turned the objection into a selling point. The next one from here is kind of like a worst case, best case scenario. By the way, we're almost done through this video. Appreciate if you drop a like and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos from me. But the next email I send out is I'm kind of setting up a worst case and a best case scenario of where will you be 1 year from now. So, okay, if you start this, because like I said, you still have to sell them on the idea. You always want to be selling them on the idea. If I say, okay, where will you be 1 year from now? I can present them with the best case scenario, which is they could get results like me or even better results than me. And then I also show them the best case scenario and the worst case scenario. And what that does is it just removes a little bit of risk from them. So they're like, okay, so look, I could try this out. Worst case scenario, I fail, I don't lose any money. Because like I said, right, if you're trying drop shipping, worst case scenario is that you spend $1,000 on ads and you lose all the money, right? So there is actually a worst case scenario. With this though, I can highlight to them, look, you're not spending any money. There's zero risk on your part. Worst case scenario is you try it out for a few weeks, you move on, you find out that it wasn't for you. Well, you still develop the skills, you still gain the experience for the next thing that you try, right? So there's honestly no worst case scenario because either way, you'll still be benefiting from it, right? And so I'm just removing that risk in their mind from them. I say, I want you to think about this 1 year from today, where will you be? I went from $0 online to buying my dream car in just 1 year, which is true, by the way. My first ever dollar, it was actually less than a year. My first ever profitable dollar, which I made online, was my junior year, October, I believe. So October 2023. And then I bought my dream car on August 2024. Yeah, August 2024. So under a year, it was like 10 months, right? So 10 months, I went from $0 online to buying my dream car in just 1 year, right? So who knows where I'll be in 5 years from now. So I say, look, I went from $0 online to buying my dream car in just 1 year. That's all it takes. And this happened because I took action. Today, you have the decision, will I take action? And then I present worst case scenario is nothing works out for you and you just walk away with the skills you developed. Best case scenario, you financially transform your life and buy your dream car. See you in the next email, Mark. Right? Again, building some trust, telling them to open the next email. And then, like I said, showing them some more just proof in general about, I actually did buy this car, et cetera, right? So then the next email, so I just showed them a little bit. The next email, we're going to, here you can see deep dive of a testimonial from email 13. So, or not email 13, that would be one of from email 10, right? Email 10, but from testimonial emails. So in previous testimony emails, I just showed the screenshot of people getting the results. Good work for them. But in here, this one, I'm going to go more in depth of like one single testimony. And so the one testimony which I'll go more in depth of is my testimonial of how I made the money, right? And so I show them a deep case study on just one individual. And so you'll see here, I say 1 year ago, I was working a regular job at age 16. Today, I've made $9,000 in 1 week using just my phone and Instagram. Show them it was technically $16,000 in 1 week because of the pending revenue, but actual profit revenue was $9,000 in 1 week. If you want more to know more on exactly how I monetize my page, then just watch this video I made explaining it. Click here to watch. When you go to watch, I'd really appreciate if you leave a like on this video. See you in the next email, Mark. Right? Simple, right? And then I just put together like a video here. If you don't want to put a video or show your face or anything like that, then what you can do is you can just use a text, like a PDF guide, because I know a lot of you guys want to do this faceless. And if I was setting it up for you, you want to do it faceless, I could create that guide for you. So in that one, like I said, I'm just showing a little bit more social proof, not really trying to sell them at all, just building more proof, making them more aware of what's going on, how everything works, just more education, I guess you could say. Because in the next 4 to 5 emails, that's where I'm going to really, really push for that sale, right? So the next email here is I kind of ask them, okay, what has you on the fence, right? Because I want to actually understand, okay, what are their main objections? So when you're starting out with your list, you want to first kind of understand you want to understand who your audience is, right? And so if you can understand what these, hold on my neck. Dang, I need to go to a chiropractor, dude. If you can understand what these people's main objections are, then you're going to be able to market and sell to these people so much better. Because it's like, wow, this guy's just speaking to me. He's like, he's reading my thoughts, right? So what I would do is if I was starting out, and this is, if we work together, this is what I'll do for your list, is that you what I first did here is I sent out like a list of what I think could possibly be their main objections, and I have people vote for it. Like, okay, what is your main objection? And so if you're starting out here, what you can do is you can ask people for their main objections inside of your email list. You can have a place where people can just simply click like on a vote or a poll, I guess you could call it. And so I just asked them, okay, just wondering, have you actually started posting Instagram videos yet? If not, what's stopping you? I'd love to know. So reply to this email and let me know what's stopping you. See you in the next email, Mark. And so this is just an email to get a general idea of their objections. This email campaign, which I'm doing now, I'm kind of still making some iterations to it. So I'm still kind of learning what their main objections are, which is why I have it like this. But that's what you want to do there, right? Ask them their main objections. Now, here's where you really, really start going for the sale, right? So after this, what has you on the fence? What's your main objection? Then you go behind the scenes, right? So behind the scenes is where, for example, what I did was just a short 30-second video walking them actual behind the scenes, showing them, okay, so for example, if you buy my digital product on the inside, this is what the format looks like. This is where you'll go to find the videos. This is where you'll go for this aspect, et cetera, et cetera. And this is just a very practical one, just so people can kind of understand, okay, this is what I'm getting. Just clears up some confusion with them as well. So you can do this with a video. You could do this with pictures of, okay, this is what you're going to get behind the scenes and stuff. But you'll see here, I just say, so I've talked about my private community before, but I've never actually showed a behind the scenes look at what it actually looks like. So I made this short video to show you what it's like, and then just a short video. And you can just do short images, just showing them a little bit more behind the scenes. Now, here's where we cook, right? Is we set up one more email, which is just going to hammer them. Okay, this one shouldn't be here. We set up one more email, which is just going to hammer them with more proof. And then we're going to go for the final pitch, right? So here's where it's like, this is where you clutch up in the fourth quarter, like Kobe Bryant, right? But so here's where this is where you really cook, right? The last one is where you're just going to reinforce their proof, right? Because up to this point, you've built a lot of trust with them and you've built a lot of proof with them. And right before the sale, this is where you kind of just remind them, like, okay, look, I'm the guy who did this. I'm the one who sent you all these emails. Because look, if you send them the emails way back when, they kind of forget about it a little bit, but it's still in the back of their mind still. So this is where you just remind them, like, for example, right before you ask them, hey, would you like to buy my product? It's right here for like the big final pitch where you really ask them really hard and stuff. You just say, hey, look, so remember, I don't know if you remember all those testimonials which I sent to you and all the results which I've gotten before. Would you like to buy my product, right? My digital product. That's kind of what you're doing in this email. You're just showing them more proof, building yourself as more of an authority figure in their minds. And so you'll see here, buy my dream car at age 17. I'm just showing them more proof there. Ask me anything. It's surreal to think about it, but exactly 1 year ago, I had made $0 online, and now I was able to buy my dream car at age 17 with the money I made. Show them the picture of the car, and then I just say, I've never owned a car before. This one I can confidently say. And then I just give them a brief overview, just so the next day when I send that last email, they're kind of caught up to date. They understanding what what they're reminded of everything, how everything works, what's going on with it and stuff like that. And I just say, step 1, start a faceless Instagram page, step 2, do this, step 3, do that, right? And then I show them a few more results, and I'm just giving them I'm building more authority, and I guess you could say proof with me. I'm giving them also like, okay, this is how it's going to work. Remember this, right? Calling back to what I've already told them previously. So I can kind of bring up that trust with them that I've already built right before I ask for the sale. Now, here's where we cook. Here's where we make all the money, is on the final pitch, right? So we send them this final pitch after, this is like the 20th email. This is the 17th email. This is where we cook, right? So this is where we go into real depth, where I say, hey, it's Mark. Today I'm going to unlock all the hidden secrets that gave me a audience, generating me this revenue, I call it. And by the way, this is kind of like a general rule, is like, for example, you're watching this video now. I hope, because I try to put as much effort into this video, I hope that you're thinking in your mind, like, wow, this guy's just giving away all this information, which usually this is like course information, right? And I say this to people all the time, like, just give away the information, right? People are always trying to gatekeep, and I've done this in the past a lot myself. I made this mistake, like, they're trying to gatekeep, like, oh, but I don't want to give away all my secrets. I'm going to sell those, and they charge for them. They're like, no, I'm not just going to give them away for free. It's actually a lot better to just give people all the secrets away for free, for a number of reasons. First of all, because it's just a nice thing to do, right? It's just nice to give free stuff to people. They appreciate it. builds a good relationship with them. They also really just trust you a lot more. And it also shows them that, okay, this guy actually knows what he's talking about. Because, like, for example, this is just my personal opinion. You may have a different opinion. But when I watch, for example, Iman Gachi videos, and his videos are just so, they're gray, right? They're kind of like gray. They don't really go into much detail. They're kind of like, these are, and they're super flashy edited and stuff. And they're like, these are the 7 principles which made me a millionaire at age 13, right? And it's like, dude, I'm not just going to become rich because of 7 principles. Like, oh, wake up and take a cold shower. Oh yeah, and then when I get out of the shower, there's going to be a guy there with $1,000 ready to hand me. Or like, taking a cold shower and going for a 20 kilometer run and meditating, finding your inner self. That's not actually going to make you money, right? What is the actual practical steps which you need to take, right? So this is why I'm a big fan of like just giving away the information. If it helps you, great. So for example, you right now watching this video, if it helps you, then great, awesome, right? Then I delivered on the value there for you. So when you give away this information like this, it really builds a lot more trust to people. And it also shows that you know what you're talking about, right? Like if I just told you, hey, I know how to set up email campaigns and make money with them, you'd be like, okay, like what's the proof of that? Can you show me? But here, when I'm demonstrating and talking to you for 50 straight minutes, going to full depth and detail, showing you how I set it up, explaining everything, now you're like, oh yeah, wow, this guy does know what he's talking about. At least I hope so, right? Um, hope I spend all this time to gain your trust. So you build more trust and authority with people, and then you also just help people out a lot more with your digital product. Generally, the way I like doing it more is just the one thing that you really, first of all, people always want to buy more, right? If you give them all the stuff, they'll always want to buy more. What they're really buying is like the compression of the information. So for example, if you're selling a weight loss course, right? What people are buying, they're not actually buying the information in there. Because if you just think about it for a second, like all this weight loss information stuff, you can find it online, right? Like if you did your research, you've got thousands of YouTube videos, hundreds of thousands of YouTube videos, hundreds of thousands of TikTok, Instagram, YouTube videos, hundreds of thousands of research papers done online and blogs and articles and people's different opinions. Like if you wanted to find all that information out there, you could do it, right? But when people are buying your course, what they're buying from you or your digital product, they're actually buying mainly 2 things: help to actually implement it. So like, so that they can get access to you, with your DMs, maybe on a call, whatever it is. But the main thing which you're actually buying is what I call synthesization. Synthesization, right? It's a word which I got from this entrepreneur called Andrew Kirby. I'll show you him real quick. He kind of like coined this term, I guess you could say. He's a very, very smart guy. He is like 20 something years old too. But the word is synthesization, where you're basically the synthesizer, and in your course, you're taking all this information, all this confusing, overwhelming information, and you're putting it into like a list. Like, okay, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. So now it's like a simple step 4 or 3 steps, right? Okay, workout, nutrition, this other step, right? That's all you're going to worry about. And I'm going to help you and, be there with you to show you how to do it. That's mainly what people are buying. Even if it's just a simple course, that's mainly what people are buying there, right? So this is where I say, okay, today I'll unlock all the secrets, help you out more. Again, boom, right before the sale, just a bunch of more testimonials. This guy made $1.2 thousand in a single day. This guy made $360. This guy got 13,000 views on his video. This guy got 2,000 subs to his email list in just a week. This guy got 10,000 views on his video, showing them, bam, more proof just like that. And then I say, here's the deal of a lifetime: access all the guides valued at $129, but you can get it for just $30 today, saving you a whopping $99. Here's the catch though. Due to the craziness of this offer, the price will increase soon, which genuinely, my prices, I generally almost always increase them over time. So it's not just like some marketing thing there. It is a marketing thing at the same time, but I do also genuinely increase my prices. So that's kind of the email flow there. And then boom, you're asking for the sale of that one. Now, you're probably like, what happens once they've gone through that email sequence? Well, after someone has gone through that entire email sequence from you, what happens is they just get added to your regular newsletter. So you send out regular emails to people, and they could be just regular trust emails, for example, if you're doing a special launch, but you only have your you have your automated email sequence. When people first join your newsletter, they go through your automated email sequence, And then once they've gone through your automated email sequence, then they get added to your just what you call your regular subscribers. And your regular subscribers is just where you're sending out your regular emails, right? So, and then from there, you can promote anytime you want. You can send out regular things. You can sell every now and then. That's kind of how a regular one works, right? So there's a lot more detail for this, by the way. I know, look, I know this sounds like really confusing. Like I said, these are, you're going to be using a faceless Instagram page to collect these emails, or if you just want help with emails in general. But these are just some pages which I've helped to monetize and get them going. So for example, this guy, Gym Slayer, 108,000 followers I'm helping him with. He's in the gym niche. This guy here, literally, I've helped him grow from, and also he's done a lot of the work, right? He's done a very good job with it, but helped him grow from 0 followers to 42,000 followers. And it's been about 3 or 4 months now. So he's doing very well. And then this guy, Peaks Motivation, he was the guy I was talking about, recently just joined my mentorship, and he's already made about $500 to $600 in just the first couple of weeks. And that's just like while we were setting everything up. Right now, we're going to be, I bet you next month, probably around $3,000. And then from there on and on, we're just going to scale it more and more. So if you want some more help with this business model, I do have, I could personally mentor you to help you out. So check the top link in the description. And when you check that top link, you can get a one-on-one call with me, right? So literally a one-on-one, like full call with me. I'll help you set everything up. Or you could just join my personal mentorship straight up then, right? Either one. But click the top link in the bio and then go check it out. And I'll see you on the inside there on the call that we do. So peace out, and I'll see you later.